You are listening to a podcast of the Wave Live. This podcast features an interview with the Texas hip-hop artist teleoso.
Yeah. Her something special, baby. Her something special, baby. Yeah. Her something special. These coochie cutter bitches with no message so deceiving. With coochie cutter britches showing breast long weaving.
Hey, it's K. Rose, Program Director for Soul Metro Radio, YesSurrfm, Divas on 24, Soul Divas Radio. Yeah, I'm bragging because I can do it like that. But I'm also the General Manager for the Get Global Network, and we're back. It is the Wave Live, the 2017 edition, and we are starting off the Wave Live by just going back, and we are going to interview more people that we have interviewed in the past. But today, I have the great pleasure to be introducing and interviewing someone that I have noticed for a while, someone that I interviewed last year, someone I've been looking at from afar. And I wanted to make sure as I bring the Wave Live back in 2017, I want to start off with a bang. So today, we are interviewing the artist Teleoso from Dallas, Texas.
Hey. And just so you know, it's teleoso. When
I said it that way on purpose
teleoso,
because I know because I knew you correct me. I was just going to see if 2017 if you had like mellowed down just a little bit.
I'm
But
mellowed.
oh, you are.
Yeah.
See, the last time that I interviewed Teleoso, it was more of an abrupt stop it. My name is. It was like a chop me at the point, which was fine, and I have no issues with that whatsoever. But one of the reasons that I did that, and yes, I did do it on purpose, is because I have, as we've been talking a little bit before doing the interview, I've noticed the Teleoso who has, in my opinion, which is it's my show, so it's my opinion, I've noticed an evolution in your music. And you have a new project out now. Tell everyone what the project is.
It's called Sanity. Y'all need to go get that.
Today.
Now,
right after you hear this interview, go and download it and tell two friends. I mean, yeah, because you can do it. You can use your hands. Go ahead and do this. And those listening to the podcast, y'all need to have it because I've already been broadcasting and telling people about it and marketing it. So get the new Teleoso.
yes.
It was available effective
February 14th.
Okay. And was that not also another special day?
It was
for
my
you?
birthday.
Of course. And I'm married, so Valentine's Day is a little bit suspect for me. But did you enjoy Valentine's Day?
Yes, always.
Okay. I'm good with that because one of the things I've noticed with your music, and I've noticed because of your last project was... Tell everyone your last project.
The last project was No Love.
No Love. And it wasn't that you didn't have any love or you didn't want any love.
Right.
That was just basically the concept for the project. Loved it, listened to it, still listen to it, actually. I was listening to it before I listened to Sensitivity.
Sanity.
Sanity. I'm
Sensitivity.
I'm
Come
like,
on now.
what?
How we go from No Love to Sensitivity?
Because I'm thinking
now?
about you being a sensitive person is throwing me off a little bit. I should have brought my notes, but I didn't. But now I'm the one need to be, watching my sanity right now. But with that project, and as I have listened, because I went back and I listened to everything that I could that you did before I did this interview. I didn't do that with the last project. I had heard some things you did. You did some things with a young man that I know, No Shame.
Right.
I like it. I still like the things that you did. But that was a Teleoso that was different. That was a Teleoso that I think that would walk into a situation as far as recording something. And I don't think you had anything to prove, but I think you had an edge that you still have. But it was more of I'm going to come in here and just rip this song up, and everybody that's on it, I'm going to rip them up. That's my impression that I got. Mm-hmm. And as I listened to what you did at that time, I heard that person. I heard her, and I heard how she did what she did. And then I am listening to Sanity. And did it start changing with No Love as far as how you do music and how you create songs, or did it start after No Love?
It started probably right before No Love. I constantly, as a human, try to better myself and constantly evolve no matter what I'm doing. And certain things happen in life, certain situations I had to deal with, and it kind of forced me to, kind of step back and look at life and my surroundings and just, change some things. And in that process of changing some things in my life and surroundings around me, it forced me to kind of evolve more and be more in tune, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. And as I said, I listened to a lot of the things before No Love. I've listened to No Love. We play No Love. And I thought I heard a change. And so there was a change. And you made the change because you wanted to make it and you felt comfortable making it because it was part of your evolution as an artist. Is that right?
Well, not just as an artist, just in general. I feel like you should constantly try to be better and do better. And, it was just in that process, it changed me as an artist as well, I guess.
And you, as I mentioned on the first interview, you write everything you do.
Yes.
You don't have a ghostwriter,
No.
I don't think.
But if someone needs a ghostwriter, I holler at your girl.
Definitely going to get at that. There are some people that would really benefit from working with Teleoso, so don't hold up. Tell them how to contact you via everything.
Via everything, it's Teleoso. It's TELEOSO. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. Google me, you can find it somewhere. I'm not going to give my email address.
Oh,
but,
I know. Well, yeah, check with her on those prices because there is a cost for good music.
Nothing is free.
Nothing should be free, and I agree with you. And which is another part of this interview we'll talk about later as far as being an artist and some of the things that artists go through. But as you make this change, I could tell it wasn't a change just for change's sake. It was a change that you made, a lifestyle change.
Yes.
And I think I can see as you sit here as we speak together for the first interview live, okay?
Yes.
Normally I've done interviews, most of them on the phone. And another interesting fact is that Teleoso was very familiar with where the new studio is.
Yes.
And if you'd like, you can tell them why.
Because this is also the building that I record with Eardrum Studios. Shout out Bud Beats and JT.
And if you need some production work, just give them your opinion. You wouldn't. I'm going to tell y'all right now, she would not use them. My personal opinion, if they weren't just really nice. So
Yeah, definitely.
This entire project was recorded
Yes, at Eardrum Studios.
at Eardrum Studios. So y'all need to check out Eardrum Studios. We'll make sure we include their information also in the in this podcast information and things of that nature. But the producer that works with you,
Mousequake, he's the executive producer, and he also was the executive producer of No Love. And I linked up with him basically right before the No Love project. I had already started recording, and he was going to do some mixing for me and mastering. And then I had said, you should be my executive producer. He was like, you can't afford me. I was like, oh, okay, And then once we started working together, he saw that over time that I could take direction. And we just, we clicked well. And so we started working and we put out No Love. And then it kind of followed through to the Sanity project.
Now, did he do any writing with you on either project?
No, he's made beats, but not, on paper that's considered a writer, but
a composer.
No writing, yes.
Right. He was a composer on some of the songs.
Correct.
And
he mixed and mastered and stuff. And
which is an important part of this.
super duper important.
Okay, people that are listening, especially young artists or older artists, and you know who you are because I talk to some older artists all the time. Tell people, Teleoso, why it's important not to have everything done in one studio, in your opinion. Mixing, mastering, recording. Why do you think it's important to have the mixing and mastering done separate from the recording?
I don't think it's so much as far as not having it done in the same studio.
I mean, engineering piece.
But I just think it's good to have different ears on your project. Like what I hear, what I like may be something totally different than what someone else likes.
Right.
And it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. but it's kind of like, am I allowed to cuss?
You can say whatever you want to. This is your
opinions are like assholes. So it's like, everybody has one. It just depends on whether, I just like to work with like good people, quality sound, know what they're doing, professional product. That's what I'm trying to put out. I just want to make good music and have a professional quality product.
And for those of you who are out there who have made 4 or 5 songs and you immediately go to your car and you put them in the car and you immediately roll around the neighborhood blasting your music and you feel you are an artist, you need to understand that's really not being an artist. Writing and being prolific to me is being an artist, true artist. There are good performers, which is totally separate. I know a lot of people that have made a few good songs and they're good performers. Mm-hmm. But how many songs, and I know this is not a exactly moment, but how many songs do you think you have written since you actually started thinking of yourself as an artist?
Hundreds and hundreds. But of course, I'm one of those people, I don't believe, like, a lot of them will never see the light of day.
Right.
Because, like, with the Sanity project, with No Love project, there was a lot of songs that were recorded and we had to make cuts and then make cuts and then make cuts, and sometimes I could do a song and immediately after I recorded, I'm like, it's all right. I'm not going to probably ever put it out, but mm-hmm. It is what it is. It may be a beat factor, different factors to the song. I may be like, I don't really like the way I recorded that or whatever. So there's different reasons, but that's just me personally. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm kind of like my worst enemy at times.
You mentioned that on the first interview. Mm-hmm. And do you feel that I don't think it holds you back, but does that irritate you sometimes that you are a perfectionist?
I mean, it's the gift and the curse. It's mm-hmm. like, it kind of follows. It's like an OCD type of thing also. Like, I can walk in and spot, that picture's hung too high. It's crooked. It's, it's kind of annoying at times. But it works out, well in the music and art field, I guess.
Well, are you many people within one person? Are you the teleoso, the musician, artist, and then are you the teleoso, the homebody that only wants to just kind of chill out thing? Do you just have those like different facets, or is it pretty much you're pretty evenly the same person all the time?
I mean, there's layers to me, mm-hmm. I feel. I am a homebody. I prefer to be like home, and I'm not one of those people that get lonely. Like, I like alone time because I don't ever really get bored because I feel like there's not enough time in the day mm-hmm. to get everything done that I need to get done. So I do, I'm always me, but there's just different layers to me, And
you're not fighting and warring against yourself about anything. You're not upset with yourself because you're too much of a perfectionist.
Oh, no. I'm not upset with myself about it. No, definitely not.
Well, there are some people like that. You would be surprised. It's
annoying at times. Don't get me wrong. Like, I could be painting a picture and I'm like, oh, or I just can't, I forgot which artist said it. It was Picasso, somebody, but it was like, art is never finished. It's just abandoned. And so it's like, I could seriously spend a year painting something if I allowed myself to, but at some point you have to say, okay, enough is enough.
And I've never heard that before, but it makes sense to me from an artistic standpoint as an artist, but that's those things that you paint. Mm-hmm. Do you have that feeling about your music also? Do you just make yourself come to an ending point when you're doing a song?
Well, when it's music, it's a little bit different because, when it's a painting, it's just me mm-hmm. and what I feel, and it is what it is. But with music, luckily, I'm blessed to have a team of good people, talented people. Mm-hmm. So there's also input where there's times where I'm like, oh, maybe I should go back and do this. And they're like, leave it alone, or there's times where I may feel like, it's done. No, you need to go in there and do some ad-libs or, emphasis track or whatnot. So,
and that's what you mentioned team. That's what teams are supposed to do. You can't have the Donald Trump universe where everybody does what you want them to do, or you have people warring against each other for your attention. Is that something you evolved in also, to where you are accepting this input from your team, or was this something you just naturally would do?
I guess it's kind of like who's giving me the criticism or advice, you know. There's levels to this, you know. So it's like if you're in a position where I respect you as an artist or engineer or anything of that sort, you know, I'm open for criticism and everything. If I don't respect what you're doing, you know, your opinion is just kind of like, eh.
Well, but I can't see you working with anyone that you don't respect.
Definitely.
From an recording or mixing, mastering standpoint, from an engineering standpoint. I just can't see you being in the room with someone more than once.
Right.
You know that.
Probably walk out.
Right, that's what I'm saying. No more than the one time. If you could see it going off the rails, it's like, okay, I'm really not feeling this person, or I'm not going to work with them, so I'm good.
And then energy too. I'm all about energy, so I feel, you know, if the vibes are good and I'm getting good energy and this and that, you know, like I love being around other artists that I feel are talented and their energy's good, and we have vibe sessions. And you know, there's some artists I've been around where they're like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And I'm like, no, you're so amazing. So it's great to be able to be in situations like that where you can vibe off of each other and just that good energy creating and things of that sort.
Well, do you feel, and again, everyone, we are interviewing Teleoso. This is the Wave Live, the first interview for 2017. New project out for Teleoso, Sanity.
Sanity.
It is in rotation now on all of our stations that play hip-hop. And I'm really trying to sneak in one or two of your tracks into So Metro, so we're going to talk about that too. But do you feel that, and I'm not saying this just for you, but do you feel there is a disconnect sometimes with artists from an ego standpoint to where they don't want to work with people because they feel that, well, for lack of a better way to put it, they just feel the other person is better than they are, so they don't want to be outshined by that person. Do you find that happens to yourself, or have you seen it happening with other people?
I mean, I've experienced instances like that where I've had some dudes have to go back and rewrite their verses. You know,
after you did your verse.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Which I feel is totally unfair on the playing field if we're going to do that. No, but, you know, in general, I don't really work with a lot of people. Like, as you see on Sanity, I didn't have any
2 or 3
features other than
people.
Singers.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but 2 or 3 people. It wasn't
Correct.
many.
It was 3 different singers that I had on there. And honestly, I was trying to do it all by myself. Like, if I could have, sometimes I write things in a tone that maybe I can't hit that note. Mm-hmm. So I have to have someone else come in, you know. But if it was up to Mousequake, I wouldn't have had any features.
And that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I think a project, especially a project like this, I'm a fanatic about being you, the artist. Mm-hmm. And when you, to me, if you have 5 features on a project, it's detracting from the project to me. Because, again, it's my opinion, I feel an artist should be able to, if you're going to do a project, it's different from doing an EP that's trying to get out there to get some attention or whatever. But if you're an artist, you should be able to stand on your own. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm from the old school of Prince and Stevie Wonder, and from that matter, James Brown or whatever. Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I mean, it's not fair because they have so many people in the group. But they weren't doing, James Brown didn't have somebody featuring on his project. Marvin Gaye would do duets, but he wouldn't have 6 or 7 people featuring on the project. And features to me came from within the hip-hop community from record labels. Because I think the record labels wanted the artist who may not be as big to have Jay-Z jump on the track or something to get attention to the track. But if you're a prolific writer, which I consider you to be, when I listen to your music, I don't really expect to hear many other voices other than you.
And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not opposed to doing features.
Right.
Like with Nidra that sang on there, I've done 2 songs with him, features, with Deontay that's on there. I have done, I can't even count how many songs we've done together. He's also a rapper as well as a singer. Super dope. The Q guy, that was the only song that I've done with him, but we plan to do more, so I'm not opposed to working with other artists, and sometimes people get that confused with me. But in the same sense, I feel kind of like, why have 1 million people on my record when it's my record?
Well, do you feel, from a present standpoint, you as a hip-hop artist, an MC, and a woman, this genre was created initially with that dominating male influence. And you are an artist that can hold your own with whoever that you're on a track with. It irritates me that female artists, hip hop artists, are not considered on their talents. They're considered that people will like them because they like them because they're hard, and I think you should like them because they're good at what they do and their songs are good.
Well, see, this is the thing. Of course, it's a male-dominated industry. But there are so many, like the word femc. I can't stand that word. Yes, of course, I'm a femc, a female MC. I get it. But I don't like to be compared like, oh, she's the dope female rapper. Like, why can't I just be a rapper or an MC? Like, because I feel like I can go toe-to-toe with these dudes.
And that's why I didn't say femc to me. Because to me, you're an MC. You happen to be a female, but being MCs and rappers, period, it's just all this, I guess, ego between themselves, period. It doesn't matter male or female. Males always have this aggression toward, as far as rappers, is my opinion, that they are the best and you can't outdo me, and my song could be a total piece of crap. But they still feel like, well, but I'm my ego. I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
I feel like the majority of rappers, period, are like that. Not just males. Like,
right. They're rappers. To me, are rappers. MCs, right? MCs perform. Rappers rap. And there are a lot of things because you can be a ghostwriter for a rapper, but you as an MC. To me, an MC controls crowds. That's what the master of ceremonies is supposed to do. You control the stage and you perform. A lot of rappers don't know how to perform. They know how to put on the T-shirt. Now you have moved to polo shirts. It used to be long tees.
The tall tee. And some dudes still wear those.
Some still do, and if your feelings are being hurt, handle it. Long polo shirts. Usually not really a style.
No, it's the skinny jeans.
Oh, God. That's a whole different story.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love skinny jeans. I have on some right now. But if you're a dude, maybe not so much.
Well, I have a younger son, and I have 2 younger sons. What am I talking about? One's in college, one's in middle school, going high school. He does not wear skinny jeans because it's not a style he grew up with, and he just doesn't feel comfortable with it. If he would wear them, I probably wouldn't say too much about it. I express my opinions to him about everything. And but skinny jeans that are just so tight on a man that you can't even, I mean, your legs are pressed up against each other because they have to be. I'm having some issues with that.
Yeah. But then I don't like the real big jeans on guys. I like nice tailored look.
Well, but you will find, the people that are listening to the show, you'll find that a lot of people that are in this industry really don't know what style is. So they don't know how to go out and put together a wardrobe for a show. They just come in with what they had on Monday at work. And I'm not saying that if you don't have the means to do it, I can understand that. But if you're a performer, you need to just as much money that you devote to your song and playing for the engineering and the tracks, you should be putting that into your performance. But
that's the thing. Some people don't put money into their engineering
That's true.
and mixing and mastering.
That's true.
So it's kind of like,
you can record in a bathroom if you want to, and I'm not even saying it will sound bad.
Too. Like that's where people get another mistake. It's not necessarily the studio. Like some people think because you're working behind $1 million board or whatever, your sound's gonna be good. No, it's who's working that board.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you could be in somebody's garage, but if the person working that board has the skills, it may come out better than And
it will in most occurrences.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Providing you're using quality equipment.
And if you're working with quality engineers, they'll be able to tell you also if your equipment just is not going to work.
Right.
A lot of people that are not labels, but studios, they want you to come into their studio, so they'll just say, oh, man, you can't use this. You need to record it in here. No, that's really not the case. Sometimes a good engineer can tell you if he can work with what you recorded. Mm-hmm. But back to what we were saying, you have to invest money a lot of times, I'll say most of the time, to get good engineering, to get good production work.
Correct.
You should, as an artist, which I can tell you, Teleoso puts money into her craft. And it shows when you listen, when you look at the artwork, when you look at how her production is put together. You can tell consistent, good progressive engineering and work on a project. Everybody can look into one song that is good and engineered well. But you can't do what I consider you to do consistently. You consistently have technically sound product. So it makes it easier to listen to what you do for me. Because I listen to hundreds of songs in a month. Mm-hmm. And one of my biggest problems is I can deal with a song if the engineering and the mastering isn't right yet. But the mix, if the mix is off, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's like a huge part of...
I don't get it. I mean, you as an artist should know your mix is off. You should hear it, I would hope, or you should invest in someone who will tell you the truth.
But see, that's the problem, and why the game is so flooded right now is because there's all these people that will, like, look at what the radio stations play. Mumble rap, etc. So there's all these people like, oh, well, if they can do that, I can do that. And so people are just like overnight rappers and all this other stuff. So I think a lot of them, they don't know. And then it's like they don't take it seriously either. They're just so excited to have recorded a song that it's like, here, listen, where... to each his own. I'm going to be honest. I don't really care what anybody else does. I can only worry about what I'm doing and what affects me personally. So I'm not knocking anybody else for how they choose to handle their business or make their music or whatnot. I just know what I have to do.
Yeah, no, and it's not that I'm not knocking them either. But to me, let me see. One thing that I enjoy doing... I enjoy putting together video sequences and things like that. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm learning my craft, and I'm learning so that each one that I do, I hope is getting better. I'm just not trying to do something just to do it as a hobby, and which is a difference. If it's a hobby, well, yeah, I'm fine. I can do whatever I want to do. But if I wanted to actually be effective, I need to take some time to understand it and to work to make it better. And if you're an artist, if you're doing this as a hobby, I'm even cool with that too. Artists that are doing this and you're making music and you're recording and it's a hobby and it's a fun thing, but don't turn around and then get mad.
I'm not cool with that, honestly. And move out the
well, but then they can do that. But if they really don't get in the way of artists like yourself, and don't get mad because somebody's telling you the truth about what you're doing, but you're walking around in some $700 shoes. And I'm being,
But this is the thing. I have come to realize that I had a discussion with a friend the other day, and it was like, do you think that people know when they're whack or they're garbage. And I was like, I really don't think so. Just like everybody thinks their mom is beautiful. Everybody's like, my beautiful mom. And then you see a picture and you're like, or everyone thinks their kids are beautiful or so smart, and that's great. But it's like I don't think anyone honestly believes they're whack.
I agree with that 100%. They are...
But it's the consumer's fault, and it's their friends' fault. Like Mousequake was saying the other day, he said a lot of it is people who are surrounding them, and they won't tell them, like, look, you need to go on and hang it up. Maybe this isn't for you. You should try something else.
It's the Emperor's New Clothes
They're
thing.
like, yeah, that's good. And I have been at fault for doing that to people before. I have been the problem when someone's like, hey, check this out. Is it good? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Because I didn't want to hurt their feelings, but...
But there's a way to say things without chopping their head off.
But these days, you're a hater. Anytime you don't agree with someone, anytime you're not, going along with everything, you're a hater. So it's like, And
see, I enjoy the fact that because I'm in the radio industry, I don't say things to insult people or to embarrass them at all. But if I do feel that, no, this isn't ready, and I mention it, I'm not as much a hater because I'm supposed to be in this industry and understand what I'm doing. But they'll look at another artist and instantly call that artist a hater because they're being honest about what they heard from this person. And that's not right. As an artist that has done hundreds of songs, I would have to be stupid not to give you the benefit of knowing song structure and knowing what sounds good. And your opinion should be valued. I shouldn't look at you as a hater if you honestly tell me, that you might need to go back and redo a couple of things, just like you do when you're recording with your team. But you said something that is true. I don't think people know they're whack.
But see,
they don't believe it. Let me put it that way.
Right, definitely. And I'm one of those people, like, I'd rather be hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. But there's also things that, I tell some of my people and artists that I'm cool with. I'm like, hey, not everything is meant to be broadcasted. Some things can be in-house, and I'll tell them, hey, you need to do this like that. You should do this like that. And, sometimes we bump heads. Sometimes it's like, you're right.
Well, it's recording. When you're doing something and you're recording and you've done it and you're not listening to the people that are trying to give you good information, and then you still release it thinking that, well, I'm fine, I think I'm great, and then someone else tells you the same thing that the people you were recording with tells you, you should be open from that point forward to listen to what they say. And same thing as a person who says, hey, I got this hot track. Hey, K. Rose, will you listen to it? If I give them an honest opinion, they should be open to listening to what I am telling them.
Definitely. And I'm always open, to opinions. But then there are certain times, like Mousequake and I bumped heads tons of times during this project. But it was like a good creative, head bump. Right. So it was like there's times, where he was right. There's times where I was right. And so it's just about if everyone agreed on everything, it would be boring. I don't want to be around yes men. It's like, yeah, you're so great. Da-da-da-da, keep it like that. Da-da-da, whatever. I like to be surrounded by, talented, creative minds when it comes to working.
Well, but that's what makes a good song to me. Good input from good people, and you've got a good song. But if you have yes people around you, you cannot create... Well, I won't say you can't. It's a very small percentage of good songs produced by people who don't listen to constructive criticism. And the artists that are out there that are listening to this podcast and listening to the show, open your mind up to where you can accept criticism. Open up your mind so that you can work with artists like Teleoso. You don't have checkbooks anymore, but, bring the money.
PayPal, baby.
Hey, yeah, exactly. Get a PayPal account if you don't have one. But expect good work. Expect someone that's going to be professional about what she does. And then you do the same thing. Don't come in there writing. Well, this is just my personal peeve. I don't know. People do it. I don't care. But if I'm paying for studio time and you're coming in and you're writing to the music, that's not effective use of studio time to me.
Right. Now, see, there's, I usually write before I get to the studio.
Right.
And I go in there and I record. But there's been situations where, like, someone wanted a feature. So I go to the studio and write there because they've never sent me the beat. So,
Yeah, I understand that.
Like that, of course. But like I say, to each his own. Everybody has their own creative process. I used to know this dude. He couldn't write unless he was in the studio, surrounded by equipment. It was his little weird thing, So, like I said, I can't really worry about what other people do or their creative process or how they choose to do their thing. I just have to worry about me.
Well, we're going to take a quick break right now, and we're going to play a song from your new project,
Sanity.
And I'll let you pick the song. And
Let's
let you
run with
introduce.
Sanity since.
I was going to play that, but I didn't want to
See,
just take
I
over.
knew you were going to play that. That's why I just
No, but I like that song. That's why I was going to play it anyway, sometime during this interview. But anyway, we're going into break. Go ahead and give us the cue.
Sanity by yours truly.
Tight on my feet, cool all nighters, that's a life, no sleep. Dreams seem brighter on the mic, I beast. And I swear I'm so high, but my mind's so deep, so close. If I make it, maybe I can find peace. Here on the pavement, life is a beach. God, come and save me. Tired of these streets, feel as I could touch the sky, but my arms won't reach. And the devil would deceive, man, I swear it's so wicked. Caught up in the system, trying to handle business. Dude caught a case, played a safe state witness. Smiling in my face, set me up and started snitching. Now I deal with feelings I never knew existed. Darkest of emotions, my thoughts are all twisted. Attitude shifted, distant, don't wanna get convicted. Unsure what I am facing, I'm begging for forgiveness. Emotionally drained, trying to change for the better. Dealing with a storm, I'm not sure that I could weather. Everything was smooth sailing, feeling light as a feather. My whole world fell apart, trying to put it back together. Nothing lasts forever. Was putting too much effort in these outside endeavors. Focused on the cheddar cause it brought me such pleasure. Unaware that I was going head to head with the devil. I was way too smart, getting caught, man, never. Down for whatever. Neglecting all my God-given gifts I should've treasured. Overlooked the signs of the ties I should've severed. Fast money make you blind, let me tell you about pressure. Out here on my grind, doing fine, got set up. My life is on the line, facing timeless measure. I 14 grams of cocaine, hold 10 to 99 in Texas. Once you do the mathematics, that's a cold, hard lesson. Everything happened for a reason. Blessing in disguise is a change of the seasons. Truth turn to lies when the lights start blinking. Guns pointed at you and your heart starts sinking. Life starts to flash, what the fuck was I thinking? Knew better than to trust, man, these fuckboys singing. Staring at the judge, my attorney gets to speaking. Courtroom so quiet you can hear him now squeaking. Jesus, they tryna give me 12 and a pen. Can't live life in a cell, go through hell just to win. I fight through the depths, I inhale, hold my chin while I manifest life through the darkness within. Just trying to gain a start in the end. Ease my mind, stay inclined, play my part, fuck a friend. My grind, stay aligned, push the art in the pen. Over time you will find there's no heart amongst men.
This is K. Rose, Program Director for So Metro Radio and Yes Sir FM, and you are listening to the Wave Live 2017 interview with Teleoso.
Yeah.
We are back after listening to Sanity, and I know you enjoyed it. So I know actually you went to the digital stores and you purchased Sanity while you were listening to it. I know my people. I know how y'all do things. So you are not only an artist. Tell everyone else again who you are, what you do, how you do it. There's one part of you that I love.
Only one part?
Yeah, I'm okay with the other one too. But that one thing about the food, I'm like, that's that's a big thing. But go ahead, tell everyone about you again.
Well, I do music, songwriter. I consider myself a songwriter first,
right,
before anything. I'm an artist, a music artist, a painting artist.
Mm-hmm.
That's also artistry, and I'm also writing a cookbook slowly but surely.
I didn't know you were writing a cookbook.
Yes. Well, I guess it's not really writing. I'm like
putting your recipes together.
Yes, in a cookbook. But see, that's my problem because I don't really have recipes. I kind of just know what I'm doing and do it, and so that's the part that's slowing me up. Is like actually, getting the measurements and everything down for people to be able to recreate the recipes.
Well, when you do that, that's the way my mother cooked. You get to a point where you just know the recipe. And then you put this and that, and you just know to put this and that in there. So, but when my mother would do these things and she started to put it down for my sister, I don't think it was intentional, Mom. But she would leave out a piece.
Right.
And then say, I forgot to tell you, that's why I didn't taste right. How long have you been a person do you consider yourself a chef, or what do you consider yourself?
Well, I never went to a culinary school or anything, but I just kind of, I don't know, I just started cooking at a young age. It didn't start off too well, let me be honest with you. It was kind of horrible in the beginning.
Were you experimenting with different things you were cooking?
Yeah. And then, just over time, I kind of this and that. And then it got to the point where, my perfectionist part kicks in. And, I like it to look nice and taste good at the same time. So, but then I just, cook. It wasn't something I was, trying to do. I just cooked because people got to eat. And then it got to the point where, everyone that tastes my cooking, they're like, oh, my God, you need to, open a restaurant. And so, which that may come in the future.
I was going to ask that.
Anything is possible. I'm trying to do everything. But one of my friends, Lester Rowe with A-Row Films, he's been a big supporter and influence in me musically. He's just always on my ass, Did you do this yet? Did you do that? What did that, but it's like a good,
Yeah.
He's a pain in my ass, but it's in a good way. And he's just you need to do a cookbook. He's written a book, Wi-Fi at Rock Bottom, and he's won film festivals. He's won awards and stuff for his documentaries. And so he's pushing me on this cookbook. He's been pushing me on it, and I am just so slow when it comes to that because I'm how do I juggle all these things?
Well, how many recipes are we talking about that you'd feel comfortable with in your cookbook?
I'm not really sure. I've never written a book before of any sort. So with him, he's just kind of as you go along, send them to me, which, I'm slowly moving along at a snail's pace. But I would like to have, different categories. And, desserts and starters and things of that sort.
Well, are you finding, does that take some of the fun out of cooking when you're putting together the cookbook and having to write down the ingredients? Is that taking any fun out of cooking for you?
Well, I wouldn't really say that cooking is fun. It's just more of I like to feed people, put it like that. If I could have my ultimate happiness would be to have everybody in the world just sitting down, eating my food, staring at my painting, and listening to my music, I just want to
for hours and hours.
I just want to make everybody happy.
Well, but it's not necessarily the cooking, it's the enjoyment of what you have cooked.
Correct.
Is what is.
But it's not fun to just cook for myself.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I like to feed people and,
And so, 6 or 7 people over and you put the meal together and everyone's enjoying it, that's the type thing we're talking about. Not six, it doesn't have to be that, but I'm saying just somebody enjoying your food is what you want to do. And so if you're experimenting and you need people to enjoy your food, selfish me will accept the invitation to eat some of your food. So now that I know that is the reason that you cook anyway, I would love to.
I mean, that's not the only reason I cook, but
one of the
that's what makes it,
That's what makes it fun and things. So we can look forward, not to nail you to the wall, but we can look forward to a cookbook in the future.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't put a date on it. I just said in the future. That's right. From now until
you'll probably get another album before you get the cookbook. No, I'm just
which wouldn't hurt me either. I mean, I'm loving the music. So, and you basically, is art different? A different form of satisfaction for you? Do you do it for your own enjoyment as opposed to food where you love the enjoyment of the people eating the food? Do you do that for your enjoyment?
Well, art is more of it's like a release, like music, it's a emotional outlet. I'm not a very emotional person, like just in real life, but I am vulnerable in my music, and I started painting to just really as like a relaxation thing, because it's relaxing to write music, but I'm also my brain is working, where when I'm painting, I don't really have to think. It's just something I'm doing. And I honestly didn't even know I could paint till a few years ago. I used to draw when I was younger, and I stopped as an adult, and I just went and bought painting supplies, and the first painting I painted, I posted it, and someone was like, I want to buy that. And I was like, get out of here. And then as I posted them, it became a business, and so I funded the majority of my music career with paintings. And I don't have not one single painting of mine hanging up in my house. That's what people think is insane. Zero. But it's like I did it, so it's not like it's special to me, I guess. I don't know how to explain.
Well, do you remember all the paintings in your mind's eye?
Pretty much. I mean, and then there's times where I'll paint something. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep this one for myself. And then someone offers to buy it, and I guess the Jew in me is like, sell it. So it's like I just...
That's the recording artist in you saying, hey, more studio time or, more production.
Not necessarily. I'm just like, get that money. But...
Are there artists in your family? Are there any other people that paint?
My grandmother, great-grandmother actually painted. Okay. And my grandfather was a boot maker. He made these, amazing boots. He's, got boots in museums. He's passed away now, Carlos Hernandez. But he's made boots for the presidents, Clint Eastwood, a bunch of famous people.
And that's part of your genetics, just that creativity.
Right.
Wow. And do you or any of your family members own any of the boots from?
Yes.
Okay.
My family members do.
Man, that would be, just thinking about that.
He's been in books and all types of stuff, yeah. He's
and
super
tell
talented.
us who that is again, Carlos Hernandez?
Carlos Hernandez Jr.
Okay. Man, and see, all this has gone into bringing you to us. And so the creativity you have through these different mediums, do you have anything else we don't know about that you are creatively putting together? Movies, acting?
No, maybe. I mean, I want to do, but like I said, I just what makes me happy is making other people happy. For instance, it makes me happy versus having a painting that I did on my wall. I love to see when the studios or someone else has it, and I see it on my timeline that doesn't even, that's their first time there. They take a picture and my painting's in the background. That type of stuff makes me happy. And just when people reach out to me and, they're like, oh my God, I feel like you're talking to me in this song and things of that sort. That's what means something to me. Well,
I follow you on Facebook also.
Oh, Lord. I'm kind of an asshole a little bit, but it's all in fun.
You are humorous. I don't follow just anybody either. There are a lot of people that have a lot of meaningless things. If you take a picture of some food, I'll look at it. if somebody's taking a picture of some food from Burger King or some crazy, why? I mean, y'all, at least I took a picture of cheesecake because I love cheesecake, and my wife makes, I think, the best cheesecake in the universe. Trying to get the brownie points. But do you find on Facebook that is that a release for you also, or is it just kind of a thing to do?
It's just entertainment. Like, I'll never post my personal life. Like, I like to keep my personal life private and personal to me. So, like, I could be totally in love, and I'll make a post about something stupid to do with a relationship. Or, I could be, like, upset and in my feelings box, but no one would ever know, So it's like, it's all for fun and games.
And that's why I was asking you that, because you have a wide variety of posts as far as saying things. And as I grew to, I read them more, I was like, she jacking with people. Because she ain't really, she's just saying this to be saying it to get people to react to it because they'll react to it. Sometimes, I think. And that's fun to me. That, to me, is what social media is supposed to be.
Right.
I don't want you to share what's going on, not you particularly, but I don't like people doing on Facebook, talking about the agonies of what's going on with their relationships and with their families. And I really appreciate and understand that you're having some problems. So I understand that from those people that are doing this. But don't publicize it to the world. That, to me, lessens it. Well,
then you see like a couple together and they're all happy and they're posting pictures and they're in love, and then they break up, and I'm like, no, now you have to tell me why y'all broke up. Because I feel like I know you. You
can show me how lovey-dovey y'all are, and y'all matching clothes all the time. Why y'all not talking
you don't
now?
want to tell us,
But that's the world of social media. Do you find that with as you mentioned, you'll see your paintings on pictures from different people, and because they're hanging in places where the pictures are taken, do you get work from that? Do people contact you and say, hey, I want you to commission
the majority of my business comes from social media, as far as the paintings go, especially. And, people that have bought paintings, they'll refer someone else to me and stuff. And so it's great. I mean,
and you're, not to cut you off, but your paintings, is it... I don't think I've seen one of your paintings where it was like a Rockwell type thing, where you've sat down and you've got this nice, peaceful, beautiful pond, and
I'm not really into
person
ponds,
fishing, and something like that. They're usually, a lot of them, not usually, but a lot of them just have pieces that you wouldn't think would fit together, but they fit together in your paintings. Do you do that intentionally, or is it something it just comes out of you and you're not even planning it that way?
I don't know, I'm just kind of weird. Like my dad said, he's like, you're weird. Whatever. A lot of people are like, you're weird. But I don't know. I wouldn't say weird. I'm just different, maybe, But
you don't...
I just do what I don't know. Like sometimes mid-painting, I'm like, I think I'm going to put this here or that there. It's just, I don't know.
It's not planned. It's not all of them. Some of them may be.
Right.
But when you start a project... Do you see in your mind's eye basically what it's going to be at the end, or does it just come to you as you're doing it?
I usually kind of have see what it's. I'm very. I'm one of those people, like, I don't like surprise. Like, I want to know what's going on, how long I'm going to be there, what am I doing, So I kind of map it out in my head of what I'm going to do first, and then like I'll prime the canvas, sketch it out, and then begin from there. And then I may add things. Throughout the process, but I pretty much know what direction I'm going. Well,
do you do the same thing with your cooking? And do you change your recipes much? If you cook the same thing 5 times, do you change it at all?
No. Now, maybe like the first time I cook something, I may go back and then say, okay, next time I think I'm going to add some garlic or, whatever. But, once I nail it, I kind of keep it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, but you know the ingredients and you know the portions that you need to create this. It just has now to be translated to writing.
Right. And it's kind of like practice makes perfect with everything. You can't just like, I don't know. I want to be great at everything I do, no matter what it is. If I go do a feature on your song, like I want it to be...
Great.
great. It's as good as I would do on my own song, you know. So everything I do, I try to do it the best I can. I don't want to half-ass it. So
well, and I can honestly say, you know, as we come to the close of the interview, I can honestly say what I have heard from you with regards to your music, I haven't heard anything that's been half-assed.
Well, thank you.
There are a lot of heads rolling around that you've chopped off in the city of Dallas that need to be chopped off because she does what she does. And I think that if you're an artist and you have the opportunity to work with Teleoso, if you are a person that has one of her paintings, which I hope one day to have, you know, just trying to throw that out
that
there.
PayPal, like I was telling you.
Hey, and I'm not adverse to supporting my people, so that's not going to stop this. But like I said, even from the food level, if you can't find nobody to sample something, ring me up and I'll come over and eat some food. Okay, so we just do it that way. Tell everyone again, Teleoso, how to contact you, and she does not get to pick the song that I'm closing out with. That's my job.
Okay, well, you can find me on any social media at Teleoso. That's Teleoso. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever. You can find my music on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, any type of major retailer title. Or just Google Teleoso, and it will show you all types of different things.
Well, I do appreciate you for being here, for being the first 2017 The Wave Live interview.
Oh, and I'm the first. How
you
sweet.
are the first of 2017. And so, everyone, I really appreciate those of you who are listening, especially those people that have been listening to the podcast. I have been getting emails, when are you going to do some more of the Wave Live podcast? This is the first one.
Oh.
And so, check out the podcast by Sanity. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Digital stores everywhere. Again, this is K. Rose, Program Director for Yes Sir FM, and you are listening to The Wave Live.
Yeah.
Boy, you need to get over it. I know you're down and out, feeling broken. All the extra baggage you've been holding in. Sometimes you gotta go through the motions until you wake up and smell the roses. Look. I know you're bitter from your past. Relationships are brutal, most of the time they never last. You dedicate some years and they throw it in the trash. Fighting off the tears and you try to hold back, cause you envy all your peers that are happily attached. Yeah, they say opposites attract. Until you finally realize you ain't on the same path. They never show support, they just try to hold back. Then you gotta change course, learn to add and subtract. Man, they say the world round, but I swear this bitch flat. And then it's on to the next. Swear to you, she different mirror image of your ex. She broken and she fear you gon' treat her like the rest. Low self-esteem and a whole lot of stress. Only thing she has to offer you is boatloads of sex. I know it sounds good till you search for some depth. And you're down and you're out and she posing a threat. Weigh the cons and the pros, she don't show no respect. Chasing dudes on the low while you work, break your neck. While you take care of home and you chasing a check. Boy, you need to get over it. I know you're down and out, feeling broken. All the extra baggage you've been holding in. Sometimes you gotta go through the motions until you wake up and smell the roses. Yeah. What's done in the dark always comes to the light. Want a down-ass chick, but you never act right. Now you're sad and depressed, all alone trying to fight.
You have been
for
listening to a
reason and
podcast
meaning.
of The Wave Live. This podcast featured an interview with the Texas hip-hop artist Teleoso. Listen to podcasts of The Wave Live via iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, and the Spreaker Podcast Network. You can hear The Wave live Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on Yes Sir FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network.